Tonight on Joynews, Prime Vice President Dr. Bawumia donates to victims of floods in the West Mamprusi municipality.
I heard about this disaster that has befallen my own people, and because of that, I suspended all campaigning and I have rushed home today to see for myself what has happened.
Would be in the area for the very latest. Prime suspect in murder of law lecturer Professor BENNEH'S revises his confessions and names other accomplices.
Now he has mentioned somebody else, and they are going to the crime scene. And then the metal that they used in hitting the head of the professor, they are also going to the scene, and so they are going to see whether they can retrieve it.
Also in this bulletin, 60 suspects arrested so far in connection with disturbances in the Volta region. And in business,
pensions analyst says the surest way of sustaining Ghana's SSNIT pension scheme is when the retirement age is increased to 65 years.
In some other countries, like if you look at the United Kingdom, they do that on the annual basis, right? And then if you look at the law that we are having now, was passed in 2008 and started implementation in 2010.
And later in this bulletin, Accra Academy Peeps regaining champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz, St. Augustine's College in a thrilling quarterfinal.
End of the contest, here are the final scores. Kumasi Secondary Technical School has 38 points. St. Augustine's College has 50 points. Accra Academy has 53 points.
Name is Aisha Ibrahim. Joynews Prime comes to you live from our Fan of Us studios in Kokomlemle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we are free to air on GoTV channel 144 and DSTV channel 421. Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with Vice President Dr. Bawumia, who has donated 100,000 cedis to victims of the flood disaster in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region. About 900 people were forced out after 4 communities were submerged Thursday morning following the collapse of a dam as a result of torrential rains Wednesday. Dozens of farm crops and domestic animals were also washed away by the floods. The Vice President, who truncated his campaign tour of the Greater Accra region, visited the affected areas Friday to make the donation. He assured them government will support them to rebuild their collapsed buildings.
I heard about this disaster that has befallen my own people, and because of that, I suspended all campaigning and I have rushed home today to see for myself what has happened. The heavy rainfall has caused a collapse of many buildings, and unfortunately, many of these buildings were built with sand and mud houses, and so the force of the water has resulted in a collapse of many of these buildings, and so you have displaced people. So far, we've estimated about 80 households, but there are more who have been affected. So far, for about 4 or so villages, we've counted about 58 collapsed buildings. And so there are many people who have been affected, and they are being temporarily housed in a number of schools. And this is one of the locations where they are being temporarily housed. NADMO has acted quickly, has brought some relief items, including food items, including mattresses, buckets, mosquito coil, and other items, rice and sugar and milk for the sustenance of the people for now. We are also adding 100,000 cedis to them so that the food items that are required will be purchased, more will be purchased. I've asked that at least 500 bags of corn should be purchased to supplement what has already been brought. But by the grace of God, once the rain stops, we will support them to build their houses again. And we pray for the rain to stop, and we hope those houses will be constructed in a better way to withstand future flooding. So this is what brings me here. Thank you very much.
We'll be speaking to our Northeast correspondent for more on this, but the Northern Development Forum has pledged its full support to the Super Morning Show and Joynews' Up to Us campaign, and the project seeks to raise funds for those affected by the Northern Ghana floods, which have displaced hundreds of people and killed several. Speaking during a courtesy call to Joy FM, the chairman of the forum, Major Albert Donchebe, said the hashtag Up to Us campaign is what the organization should be supporting.
The Northern Development Forum cannot sit back. That is the reason why we have come to lend our support to the initiative that Joy has launched, Kojo and his team, and we want to make a case that the resources of the Northern Development Forum, our advocacy, and whatever our supporters up north and across the country are all standing by to support Kojo Yankson and his team to achieve the objectives they've set for themselves. What they are doing really is what we should be doing. And we believe that if they have taken this step, we should be standing by to support as much as we can.
Major Donchebe, a former Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, highlighted the importance of the Palugu Dam project as a result, as a solution also to the annual flooding, as well as the key to the economic transformation of the Northern Ghana.
The Northern Development Forum cannot sit back. That is the reason why we have come to lend our support to the initiative that Joy has launched, Kojo and his team, and we want to make a case that the resources of the Northern Development Forum, our advocacy, and whatever our supporters up north and across the country are all standing by to support Kojo Yankson and his team to achieve the objectives they've set for themselves. What they are doing really is what we should be doing. And we believe that if they have taken this step, we should be standing by to support as much as we can.
The EDF called on all well-meaning Ghanaians to give generously to the Up to Us campaign.
As our chairman, Major Donchebe, has already said, we also need to appeal to corporate bodies in Ghana, financial institutions, the UNDP, anybody or any organization that can support these people, because the devastation is very enormous, and I think we need everybody on board to support this.
You can also donate to the hashtag Up to Us campaign through this Momo number 0593 938768. It's 0593 938768. Everything you have, I mean, any little thing you can donate will help our brothers in the north. Let's go to Elias Sotanko, who is our Northeast correspondent, for more on this. Elias, what is the state of the displaced people as we speak?
Them have actually refused these camps that have been have not been able to explain to us why these people are refusing to go to this camp. In fact, 3 camps have been designated to house these people. We have close to 900 people that have been affected, and 3 schools were designated to house them in the Westman Pretty municipal capital alone. We have, yesterday I visited one of the schools, the Nazori Private School. This particular school was lost. There was nobody there. This morning I went to one of the schools as well, and I can see only the belongings. I could see only the belongings of these people. My information was that somewhere in the night they requested to leave the camp And so they were given the permission to go back. So as to speak, when we got to the community this morning, we actually saw some of them had their marks laid on the road. And they told me that that's where they passed the night. This evening, we understand some of them are ready to pass the night on the road again. So as to speak, some of them came, but most of them have gone back to their communities.
Earlier, we also heard that the displaced people were moving towards the flood zone area. Is it still the case?
Come again, Aisha, what do you say?
Earlier, we heard that the displaced persons were moving back to the flood area. Is it still the case?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were
municipal capital for safety. Fortunately, all of them have gone back to their communities. And like I said, some of them have resorted to sleeping on the street. That is the main Wale Nalergu Road. And these communities are along this particular street. And that's where these people are putting up. Some of them are actually sleeping with their family and friends in a community called Gagbini. One of the houses that I counted more than 15 people sleeping in one room, very small room, very tiny room, of course. And so that's the situation. The municipal authorities made available buses for these people and actually take them to the municipal capital to this camp. But unfortunately, they have gone back to these particular communities. And all their houses are flooding, especially in the Gagbini community. Several houses are broken down. These people are still sleeping on the streets as we speak.
And what are authorities saying about this? Have you heard from the MCE?
Yes, it's been very difficult, really, to convince the people. I saw the MCE, not only the MCE, the National Disaster Management Organization Board also has been making frantic efforts to convince the people to leave this particular community, but it's been very difficult. And they have to, I mean, they requested to the MC to allow them to stay in their communities. So, yes, even though the authorities are making frantic efforts to get the people to leave their communities, they are still adamant. And as I speak to you right now, most of them are preparing their mats on the streets where they will be passing the night.
Elias Otanko is a man monitoring the situation in the northeast for us. 5 people died on Thursday evening at AYAMFURI, German, in the Upper Denture West District of the Central Region when an illegal mine pit in which they were prospecting for gold caved in and collapsed on them. About 20 of the miners were busy mining at the site when the tragedy occurred and trapped 5. Police say 2 of them died instantly while the rest were rushed to 2 separate hospitals for medical attention. The Upper Denture East District Police Commander DSP Edmund Jones Efutu says 2 died on arrival at Dunkwa Government Hospital while another passed on at AYAMFURI Pentecost Hospital. The incident, which occurred at about 5 p.m. Thursday, left residents and colleague miners traumatized. The bodies have been deposited at the Dunkwa Government Hospital awaiting identification.
Yesterday, 1st October 2020, just around 4:30 p.m., I had a distress call that a mining site, phase 2 at AYAMFURI, has caved in and trapped some miners. So I organized my men, the AYAMFURI police, and then we went to the scene. When we got there, we found out that 5 people have been trapped. The site caved in and 5 people trapped. But on the spot, we found out that 2 of them were dead. I can't tell you whether it is a concession that they own or not. So for that, I cannot talk much about that. Your final words? My final words is to the small-scale miners. They should make sure that their safety is supreme, is paramount.
Former President Jerry John Rawlings has expressed concern about the increasing cost of funerals in Ghana and called for communal support in easing the burden of funerals on bereaved families. He made the remarks during a visit by the management of Jospon Group Limited, led by the executive chairman Joseph Sion Japon, to commiserate with the family of the former president following the death of his mother, Victoria Agbotui, aged 101. There's more in the following report.
Mr. Rawlings' mother, Victoria Agbotui, died on September 24, 2020. She was Mr. Rawlings' inspiration and encouraged him to achieve greater things in life, including becoming president of Ghana. She was born on the 9th of September 1919. On Friday, a delegation from the Jospon Group of Companies, led by its executive chairman, visited the former president to commiserate with him as the family prepares to put their mother to rest. They donated 50,000 Ghana cedis, soft drinks, water, and also promised to offer services and support during the funeral.
So this morning we have come as management and staff of Jospon Group, who His Excellency Fred Rawlings is a father, and we cherish him so much. So when we heard about this, we have to come and express our condolences to the family. We humbly want to say we stand by him in these trying times, and we pray to the Almighty God to hold him and the family. To miss a mother is not an easy thing, and so we pray to the Almighty God to hold the family and to keep them, and wishing also our mother that the Lord should accept her and give her a rest in the name of the Lord. So we are here humbly to also express our sympathy in terms of also donating some amount to also and some drinks. We are donating an amount of 50,000 Ghana cedis to support the family, and some drinks and water also support. We Zoom Lion as a company are into the sanitation first. I was also want to donate about 50 that's portable cabin and also cleaning services, which once we are being informed of the burial service and other things.
Chairman of the Funeral Planning Committee, Dan Abudapi, received the donation and thanked the Jospon Group for the gesture.
Our brother and friend, Dr. Joseph Sion Japon, we welcome you personally and your group to our residence, our home, to solidarize with us on the passing of our cherished mother. This sad event happened on the 24th of September, and we've done the needful, putting her where we can preserve her properly. In the meantime, the family has put in place some arrangements. For your information, it's been decided, together with the chiefs of Anglon, that the burial for our mother will be on the 24th of October.
But Mr. Rawlings, who was not scheduled to speak at the ceremony, took the microphone and asked that the family extend a deeper appreciation to the company for their support. He said the high cost of funeral calls for communal support in such difficult times to minimize the pain of families.
So let me, on behalf of the family, thank you so much for the effort that you've made towards supporting us. The amount will go a long way in dealing with some of the problems ahead of us. Thank you very much, Chief.
A non-denominational service will be held at the forecourt of the State House on the same day before departing for final interment in Keta in the Volta region.
And still to come in this bulletin, Accra Academy Pips regaining champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz, St. Augustine's College in a thrilling quarterfinal.
At the end of the contest, here are the final scores. Kumasi Secondary Technical School has 38 points. St. St. Augustine's College has 50 points. Accra Academy has 53 points.
More of the reactions when we return from the break. Election headquarters, the paramount chief of Doma traditional area, Sajefo Osiadeyo Bedu II, has given his support to the NDC to regularize and commercialize the operations of Okada if they return to power after the December elections. The chief says it's an innovative way of creating jobs for the youth, as the case is in many other developed countries like China. Speaking at a deba at Doma on the final day of the NDC flag bearers tour, the newly elected president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs touted the achievements of John Mahama and also gave his blessings to the payment of assembly members and football players.
One of the promises you made that we are so happy about is your promise to legalize Okada. You said you will make sure it is regularized. If anyone tells you that they are against the legalization of Okada, then we don't agree with them. The reason why we don't agree with them is because we have traveled a lot, and even in China, in their bigger cities, some of these motorcycles and tricycles are used. So when you are voted, please ensure to see through this promise. We have also heard that you say you will pay assembly members. It is very good. Assembly members deserve a salary for the work they do. At least every month they must get something.
Osajefo Osiadeyo Bedu II also said it will be prudent for the two main contenders in the elections, John Mahama and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to engage in a debate to help the electorate decide.
We have heard about conversations regarding a debate between you and my boss, Nana Akufo-Addo. Left to me alone, that debate must come on so that you battle your ideas out. You may have done some things I don't know about, and the NPP too might have done some things I don't know about. So it is very important to have the debate.
Hello once again, welcome to Business. I'm Charles Aitim. Now, the pensions regulatory framework in Ghana has been over the past few years, and there's some concerns when it comes to the increment of the retirement age. Let's first of all listen to the CEO of the Pensions Regulatory Authority on this pressing issue as he engaged my colleague George Rafi.
You as a young man, you contribute, and then the old man who is leaving takes the benefit of your contribution, you know. So it's a pay-as-you-go system. So if new people are not coming in, it becomes difficult in the growth of the fund. And we all know as a country, it got to a point, if you look at the statistics, the contribution was less than the payout. So there was a bit of a difficulty for SSNIT.
Interesting issue here that I want some clarification. I mean, from a layman's perspective, so does it mean that people were not growing were not retiring, or people were not contributing to the scheme?
People were retiring. Retirement, as for...
it was due.
Yes.
So then what...
But people coming in, there were less people being hired in the public sector. Over a period of time, there were less people being hired.
Well, in a related development, pensions analyst Andrews Agbobli has described the proposals to increase the retirement year of 65 in a particular way, much more of the best interest to various pensioners in the country. In a Zoom interview with him on the marketplace, Mr. Agbobli says that this might be one of the surest ways of sustaining Ghana's pension scheme.
You can also increase the contribution. But that, I know that it will come at a cost, because you have to look at whether employer is ready to, increase the payment, and then also whether the contributor is also willing to pay more. So those ones are quite difficult. But when you come to increasing the retirement age, yes, that can be done to give some, a respite to the scheme so that it will take a bit of longer time to pay those benefits. So yes, I think those proposals are well, and it's not the first time this call has come. So it's in the right direction that we should look at increasing the retirement age going forward.
Having listened to all these concerns, and it's exactly what we've heard earlier on, should the whole Pension Act be reviewed after 10 years? Do you think the whole Pension Act must be reviewed after 10 years?
Yes, I don't think it is out of place at this stage, because you see, in some other countries, like if you look at the United Kingdom, they do that on the annual basis, right? And then if you look at the law that we are having now, was passed in 2008 and started implementation in 2010. 10 years after, yes, we have had one amendment to the law, which is in 2004. We had an amendment, to the law, which we have at 883 currently. Just to get some people, who were supposed to have joined the new treated pension scheme to get back to the SSNIT.
Well, away from that, the CEO of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Greta Samuel Amegayebo, says that affordable housing is not a mirage. Taking his turn at the launch of the Joynews Habitat Fair, Samuel Amegayebo argues that the need for some regulations and incentives to make affordable housing a reality in the country.
If we have a real estate agency bill, a bill that will come to sanitize the brokerage system. So many people are being defrauded by estate agents and stuff like that. And we have a bill that has been promoted by our surveyors institution. And 30 years, we still have this document lying in Parliament. We will pray that at least this Parliament will see the importance of it and seal it off. And especially, I'm throwing a special challenge to the Minister for Works and Housing. This must be his legacy. If he doesn't push this document to be passed, I'm sorry, then we are going back to another 4 years, maybe. Then we go to 34 years.
Thank you.
7th edition of the Joynews Habitat Fair is courtesy main sponsors EcoBank. Let's hear from the Executive Director for Mortgages, Dr. Edward Botry, who also talked about the various housing, affordable housing programs and mortgage options for all income brackets.
Good mortgage has always been key. What we've done is to put together products that enables everyone to be able to benefit. What we've done has been to bring down the cost of the mortgage. What we've done has also been to try and put together all the stakeholders that are required to get customers to own their buildings. And indeed, you need not even be a customer. Just walk into any EcoBank branch, and the options that you do have will be made very clear to you. So this is something that we are very committed to. I think one of the things that you find that in EcoBank, when we pick a course or when we are concerned about something, we go at it very strongly. And mortgages is the thing that for us is something that we are very eager to ensure that customers can benefit from. So over the coming days and coming months, I think you would see all the efforts that we are going to put into this area.
And that's it for this edition of Business. We're back at 8. Coming up next is sports. To stay.
Time for some sports, and I take you into our first story. Now, President Akufo-Addo will lead government to honor 8 juvenile footballers who died in an accident in the Ashanti region. And this will be with an ultra-modern sports stadium in the town. Now, this was revealed by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Isaac Isiama, at the funeral of 4 of the victims on Thursday. Here's a report by Love FM's Kwesi Deborah.
Mr. Isiama in his address sympathized with the victims and assured them of government's continuous support. Government bore the cost of the funeral.
Ultra-modern sports stadium. And let me encourage my father. The baby and the annual woman said, "That's the way I am. That there be no woman now. But come on, pictures. Come on, the baby. 1 room. I dedicate. I am never come one room.
Mr. Siam also revealed that government has set up a 10,000 Ghana cedis trust fund for the victims. The 8 footballers died on Saturday, September 19, 2020, after their team, African Vision Academy, was involved in a road accident. The bus carrying the players and officials of the Coast Club landed in a river while they were traveling back to Offenso after a registration exercise at Afrancho in Kumasi. Reporting for Joynews, Kwesi Debra.
May their souls rest in peace. Now, top seed Simona Halep underlined why she's widely considered the French Open favorite by thrashing American teenager Amanda Anisimova to reach the last 16 at Roland Garros. Now, the Romanian, who is 29, needed just 54 minutes to win 6-love, 6-1 in Paris. Now, Halep won her first Grand Slam title at Roland Garros in 2018, and the next step towards another is the 4th round match against Polish teenager Iga Swiatek. I'll be back later on with some more. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
And it's time for Showbiz. Becky is here. How are you, Becky?
I'm fine, thank you. Aisha, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Aisha, this evening, let's congratulate Lydia Forsing for being the first Ghanaian to be nominated for the People's Choice Awards. Yes, People's Choice Awards, an American awards show recognizing people in entertainment. The actress, who is in competition with 7 others across the continent, is the first Ghanaian to be nominated in the history of the awards, and we're very, very proud and excited for Lydia Forsing. So yeah,
congratulations, Lydia.
She's winning.
And, we have to vote.
Yes, we have
to keep our sister in there. She's making us proud.
It's very important. Let's stay in America. Nicki Minaj, you know that I came here and I told you about the pregnancy. Well, she's giving birth. We don't know the sex of the baby because it's not out yet. But we're telling you, congratulations to Nicki Minaj and his husband, Kenneth Petty. According to reports, the 37-year-old rapper and husband Petty welcomed the baby on Wednesday, 30th of September in Los Angeles. So congratulations to them.
And she's looking all good, even in her pregnancy.
We're congratulating a lot of people today. Let's congratulate.
I think we should congratulate Brad Lai as well.
Yeah, because Accra
made it to the semi-final.
He's sharing pizza in the newsroom.
Blobby, shout out to you.
Remember ADJETEY SOWAH? He's one of Ghana's veteran dancers. So he's saying that he regrets not taking education seriously, and also he spoke about how he was once a womanizer. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, but he's not proud of the womanizing bit, but he's also saying that, well, that's not the way to go. So for those of you who are womanizers, this is not for you.
I skipped school a lot. I regret, because I didn't take my education that serious. But then, but because of the dance, I was like, okay, look, I was making money because from '84, I started making more money out of dance. So I'm like, come on, in future, it's all about money. So if I'm making money now, why school?
So you forgot about school?
I wasn't, let me say, I didn't take my education that serious. I finished from 5, but I didn't take it that serious.
You didn't continue.
I think the day that I have to take, what do you call it? Is it ECG, or we call it, or is it O-level?
O-level, A-level?
O-level, yeah. I think I went to the, that was the first night I went to the exam hall, and that very night I'm going to London, so I'm like, I just want to see the film, the feeling already.
Yeah, you put it somewhere.
So I just look at it, I'm like, nah, I don't understand it, I just get out.
What do you do for fun?
What
apart from that?
I like watching movies a lot.
Okay.
For me, smoking, drinking out of the way. So for me, watching movie, maybe that's why I make, I have a lot of babies.
I see. Are you married?
That's how I got 6 kids.
6 kids from one marriage. Wow.
6. Not one woman,
Okay.
Like I said, those days, I don't drink, I don't smoke, so
Yeah, so I hear you were really into women back in the day.
I beg you.
You were the ladies man. Of course, like you just said, you don't drink, you don't smoke, so yours were the women, huh? Back in the day. Well, you can't talk.
You can say that.
I can say that. I see.
For me, like I said, after dancing in UC, I'll just get out and just go hang with my woman or something.
I see.
Well, as you can see there,
so back in the day, the national dance champion.
I tell you,
it was really, really.
But Aisha, what do you do for fun? It's a Friday.
Fridays are special days for me in particular. I have fun. I like having fun, especially on Fridays.
I want to know exactly
since COVID came in, I've not been going out. I've been staying in.
Do you dance? Do you
Yes, I miss dancing sometimes. So no, I put out my loudspeakers at home and I just dance. Dance till Mama calls.
Wow. That spotlight on Aisha, everybody. Aisha, that's how I leave you. You won't ask me what I do for fun.
What do you do for fun?
I don't even know. I don't know.
You're so boring. Join the club. Let's dance. I mean, it's fun.
You have a club that we're supposed to join?
I'm planning to do an underground club.
Okay.
If I finish that,
I will join. I'm sure McAfee and the rest of the people will join.
Thank you so much for making us Showbiz.
Have a nice weekend, Aisha.
You too, enjoy yours, Becky. That'll be it for Showbiz. Welcome back to Joynews Prime. To the rest of our stories, new details have emerged about how University of Ghana law lecturer Professor Benneh was killed in his mansion at East Legon. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service says its probe has revealed the professor was hacked to death with an iron rod after he resisted an attempted robbery. His cleaner, who is charged with murder, is said to have confessed to killing his boss and now named another person as his sole accomplice after naming 3 others earlier. Director General of the CID, COP Kenna Ezekiel, has been briefing journalists. Head of our security desk, Gifty Ando-Apia, now reports.
The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service says it has picked up new leads concerning the murder of Professor Benneh.
Based on forensic evidence gathered from the crime scene, James Nanawamba was subjected to further interrogation and he broke down and confessed that he masterminded the murder of the professor. Initially, he mentioned the names of some suspects, but he has just changed that assertion and now he has mentioned somebody else and they are going to the crime scene. In fact, he has admitted that he did the crime, he did commit the crime with one other person. And because he had a key, a duplicate key of the professor, which the professor didn't know that he had a duplicate key, he had access to the place, and together with the new person that he has mentioned, they murdered him.
Now that case is still pending in court, but the new lead, according to the police, is leading them to pin the motive of this alleged murder on robbery. And that is based on the confession of the prime suspect charged with murder of Professor Benneh.
The idea was to rob him, but the professor was not giving in as they expected, and so they hit him with an iron rod and then tied him, gagged him, and then he died. So the motive, as we have gathered so far, is to rob him of some money. Now he has given us a clue as to where he hid some of the items, where he has sold some of the items. So we are following up right now.
Police has had to revisit the crime scene, and they're looking for two things at the moment: a CPU taken away from Professor Bennett's study, and an iron rod which, according to the prime suspect, was used to hit Professor Bennett on his head before he died.
Now he has mentioned somebody else, and they are going to the crime scene, and then the metal that they used in hitting the head of the professor, they are also going to the scene, because according to him, he threw it, when they were leaving the place, and so they are going to see whether they can retrieve it.
Whether or not this new development will affect the pace of the case has been answered. The police said it depends on what they find on the ground. And will those who have been mentioned earlier by the prime suspects be let go? The police say it will have to be done after further investigations clear them completely of this murder. Gifty Andopia, Joynews, CID, Police Headquarters, Accra.
Information available to Joynews, however, indicates Professor Bennett was writing a book that contained damning revelations about some individuals, which could explain why his CPU and mobile phones were taken. Here is the CID Director General's response to that motive.
On the book, yes, during our investigation, we heard that he was writing a book, and we've had access to a copy of the book. But as to the motive, whether it has got something to do with his death or the killing or the murder of the professor, for now we have not yet established that, and so I wouldn't like to, go into that area.
And in 66 days to elections, this is where to stay on your election headquarters. President Akufo-Addo says he's still confident Ghana will be counted among the cleanest countries in Africa in the next 3 years. He says the level of work being done by the Ministry of Sanitation and just one group of companies gives him hope that Ghana will be counted among the cleanest countries in Africa. Maxwell Kudeko has more.
Speaking at a sword cutting ceremony for the construction of the Eastern Solid Waste Treatment Plant at Koforidua-Fiase in the Eastern region, President Akufo-Addo hinted the construction of solid waste treatment plants across the country would help actualize the vision of making Ghana the cleanest country in Africa. He called on the executive chairman of just one group of companies to facilitate the construction of solid waste treatment plants across the 16 regions of Ghana, and expressed government gratitude for his company's support in sanitation and waste management in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo is optimistic Ghana stands a chance of emerging from the sanitation index as the cleanest country in Africa.
I say, you're right, at Japan. So, 16 regions of one Ghana, now Ghana is the cleanest country in Africa, to me, Abamu. Nona me dame kuma so say ebe cancer in 2 or 3 years time yeah index of African countries environment yeah papa ebe cancer Black Star no as usual #1 in Africa the balance also na ejuma sanko for
Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources Madam Cecilia Abena Dapa charged metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to enforce laws on sanitation and sanction people who litter indiscriminately.
Plastics ebe picking na ene ekwan assembly no ma ho kwan bio say ebe tutu regu basabasa eba ne sa e wo se emra no ene udie fi se ye be hihye ne ma ba bia wo so odi wura no to a ye frɛ ho transfer station a ebe ye free ho e de aba factory ha ama omo edim fidi ahwehwe mu a separate plastics ne metals ne glass ne nuane enu bi ene etumi hyehyɛ compost ma planting for food and jobs yɛde yɛ ɛho adwuma omu yi sɛ yɛyɛ saa hyehyɛ yi a ɛne na ɛde mpɔmuden ɛbrɛ yɛn.
Jospon Group of Companies Executive Chairman Mr. Joseph Siang Ejapon hinted the Eastern Solid Waste Treatment Plant would be completed in 4 months and will create 75 direct jobs and 250 indirect jobs within the enclave.
Say nyame na de ma ne se onye factory nsisi baabia ma yentime hwehwe nneema ewo mu na afi enkreti adwuma na wahyase bebre na aduru ha so nyame ya adom na wode sofi bofom na wahye se yen adwuma yefo na yesi ne yenfa bosome na yenwie ete bosome na pepepe na yewie ono oka asema oye de pepepe nti bosome nan ene ye wie pa ye hyase okina obeba bom se ya hyase kura grade kwa no ne ye hyase aye ye wie so a enipa be fa mo no ye 75 enu achi no enipa be ye 250 su benye adwuma ye machine no sani ye be ye adwuma fa eni sani etie na ade no we nye infoni bi keka ye yi a kire ne mo ye machine ankasa enche ye kura no obetiti baby bebre awako bia no aye bi na me pese ye de ahobrasim 5 minutes pe ye nhwe video send ye machine no eye adwuma fa.
Maxwell Kudeka report for Joynews.
President Akufo-Addo says his government is executing over 1,481 fiscal projects in the eastern region. 768 of the projects, he says, are fully completed, while 713 are at various stages of completion or ongoing. Out of the 768 completed projects, 402 are in the educational sector, 48 in the road sector, and 201 are in the water and sanitation sector. Speaking with the members of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, the president reiterated he has fulfilled over 80% of his campaign promises and has kept faith with the people of Ghana.
Speaking with the members of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs as part of his working visit in the Eastern region, Nana Akufo-Addo hinted he has fulfilled over 80% of his campaign promises and have kept faith with the people of Ghana. He mentioned that even though Ghana's constitution doesn't allow chiefs in active politics, they still have the right to vote. He pleaded on the chiefs to extend his mandate to 4 more years to do more for the people of Ghana.
There are 1,481 projects being executed in the region, with 768 completed and the remaining 713 ongoing. Out of the 768 completed projects, 402 are in the educational sector, 48 in the health sector, 40 in the road sector, and 201 in the water and sanitation sector.
And today on Voters' Voice, we take you to Ablekuma West constituency, precisely Dansuma last stop, where residents there are sharply divided over which candidate will win their votes in the upcoming December 7 polls. While some complain of harsh economic conditions, some argue that they have benefited from the free SHS policy. Here are some of their views.
I have 4 more for Nana. The I have 4 more for Nana say. Me offer for me nu say free education me kurasi me free kurasi pa obi ama chimota da nipa me nu abachi mota enti adenti na me ntoma Nana na me empuntuo emama ye enti me dia me say 4 more for Nana.
Yeah, call 4 more for Nana because almost say omo catch and say so ba drivers omo assemble cars for Ghana na ya di be my work and pay. Private work companies no de maya prices no osoro iti e for more for Nana no mo my cars no work and pay ni entumi ntia ne kakra
ti aya for more for Nana DKM sika ekem da banks e collapse or NDC times as come to finance si aya egu so ekesa na no ya 4 years so and so as can we tu ogu so otu akaka obotu awie into 4 no even about more than 4 na kwakwa na another person baba abotwa 8 years into 4 more dey go Nana okwa obi so asan foforo asenya ba. Message na ba sisias. DKM sika want to mentu since some years I want to see I am less than 3 years na no buy scan we both training na see jam message na ba say etwam sika ma me nti form one de na no okọ.
Je suis à des niam mo sisan pa nti e ble nti form for nana de esi aye twam o. Se si aye pa unto ye sika bebre akeka bank ni nyama ya close company nti ye form for nana de last year for nana ye be last year for nana ye form for nana biom ye last year for nana esi aye ye ndi agro kla ye ni abre papa.
Yeah, we have no reason why to vote for nana for 4 more because one sure no my cause Ghana had in fact as a matter of fact we have no reason why to vote for that anymore. We are sincerism, we are changing it. Last year for Nana, we have no option. That's all.
Telephone team. I said, I was Nana Mwayan. Now, quite a sense to a blame Nana Mwayan. No, so about Tom and about Tom about Tom and MP about Tomano. There are too many we are. I had the men and so we say that one on some way. Today, I say me, my yes, me done a medina. To buy on boy, Miss Matama Bamano. And so more and more Matamano, because midnight, MPP do it. To me do it. No more for you for Nana. Yeah, we did Jamaica. Yeah, Yawahano, Yahuti. Yeah, any winning now. I pay them me low, alone. Me pick up alcohol, and I piano me Ghana. And yeah, me party, me vote no, and Nana. I feel whether you're not prepared, you're better.
Nana, they are the vote in view. Because you might be brave, you might be brave. Boys, you two, I'm all brave. Your bread was a bread. More a couple in bottom. Who's this guy? No, follow Ghanaians. President. Boom, this is a goom never put a man. Nana, it didn't to go tie a pie. Boys are bread. I'm not going to make some voice out. Yes, because you have a bit of wow, and can you pay? Yeah, bro, yeah, bread. Them not free. That is the same. Yes, the same. Yes, the same. I'm never going to for good man.
December 7 will be interesting. Now, General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boydo, is confident his party will emerge victorious in the 2020 December polls and increase its numbers in Parliament. According to him, President Akufo-Addo, who has exhibited the potency to deliver on his mandate, would beat former President John Mahama with a wide margin again. Speaking to the media while touring the voters' registration exercise in the Volta region, Mr. Boydo implored the Electoral Commission to remain committed to producing a credible and reliable voters' roll for the December polls.
That's you and I know that for the past 3.5 years, even Hohwe is a critical example of how government can deliver its mandate within a very short time. You understand? It's all over. It's not just Hohwe, it's all over because of the setting up of the Special Development Initiative agenda. Almost every district and community have seen some developments. Everywhere we go, unlike the previous times where you can only mention Kwame Nkrumah interchange and Kaswa interchange. At the end of the day, there's nothing more to point out. In our case, it's different. We are doing the interchanges and we are doing massive ones. Those ones are for reducing traffic in major cities. But in terms of actual development in our communities, if not a school, if not a place of convenience, if not hospital, if not roads, if not extension of electricity. It is massive, and the people of this country are very grateful. In the rounds of our flag bearer and his running mates, although it is not a campaign so to speak, but you can see the numbers. People are genuinely showing support, and I believe that this will reflect. We are waiting to know how wide we'll beat John Mama once again. That's all that we are. Also increasing our numbers in parliament. That's all that. However, for instance, all things being equal, we'll be able to add it. I don't think that we had enough publicity from them. Particularly because of the time and the closeness of the timing for the announcement of today as a day for the continuous registration. I remember even last week when we went for IPAC meeting, they couldn't even give us the date on that day. I think that is something that is missing that they need to look at. The other thing that they need to also look at is the mismatched names, or the names that appeared double and multiple. They are correcting it, but how can a voter know that my name was duplicated or multiplicated, and as a result I need to come to EC for my card? I think that they need to call them. Most of the people who registered gave their phone numbers to the Electoral Commission. If not even direct call, they can send them a message for them to know that their cars are here. I think that these are things, but the ultimate is not to continue this exercise. The ultimate is to have a national identification system that has integrity, that we can all rely on. And if that is done, and done very well, I hope that this noise and chaos, which is becoming part and parcel of our politics, will die down.
And time for teasing. Accra Academy on Friday put up an impressive performance to win the last quarter-final contest for the day in the National Science and Maths quiz. They beat reigning champion St. Augustine's College and threw them out of the competition in spectacular fashion. Here's how it went down in the last round.
Last one. I am a fluid-like substance. I am neither liquid nor gas. I am composed of positive and... Yes, Marcelinos?
Plasma.
You are right. At the end of the contest, here are the final scores. Kumasi Secondary Technical School has 38 points. St. Augustine's College has 50 points. Accra Academy has 53 points. Very well done, gentlemen. I am impressed with your scores all around.
Absolutely. Sorry. Coach Youngson and Nathaniel Lato, I'm sure they are sleeping by now. Joynews' Maxwell Agbagba got some reactions after the contest.
Congratulations, Accra Academy. Tell me, what's the feeling like?
Oh, it's great it feels good to take the defending champions out, but it's just St. Augustine's. I don't know why this competition was a big deal. We don't know why they made a big deal out of it. This was always good. It is procedure. We've just fulfilled procedure.
Now let's go onto the stage and then speak to the contestants. Obviously put up a very impressive...
I know the end from the beginning. I'm a die-hard supporter of... I'm a pre-sec teacher, but my heart is for Accra Academy.
Oh, really? Are you an old student of Accra Academy?
I'm not an old student, but my heart, it goes for them. And so I predicted right from the beginning that they are going to win. And by God's grace, they've won. Wow. We are coming on Sunday to do our thing. You know, Presec is taking it for the sixth time.
For the sixth time, eh?
We are taking it for the sixth time. It's a done deal.
Okay.
It's a done deal.
Talk to me. You're excited for them?
Oh, definitely. We came purposely to support them.
Okay. Yes. Are you an assistant head of Accra Academy?
These were my boys.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We trained them. I moved to Presec.
Okay.
Yes. I'm an Odade. Yes.
Okay.
But these were my boys. And these boys are going all the way to the finals. Yes. Where they will meet Presec.
Okay.
Yes.
Then they will surrender the thing to us.
Well, let's go onto the stage right now and speak to the Accra Academy. Well, St. Augustine's. Okay, it's all tears here. Defending champions, they've missed out on the trophy, and now they're getting a pep talk from some of the people here. They're trying to encourage them. Let's try and get a word from the Christmas tree. Dr. Elsie Fakofman, what's your assessment of this particular contest?
That was good. Every time you have a reigning champion dethroned, it's a special situation.
Yeah.
And so I was so impressed with all of them. I mean, did you see the scores?
Yeah.
If you get 50 and above in a quarter final, then you're good. So they were very good. The teams were very good. Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elsie Fakofman. Thank you. Let's speak to Chibu now. Obviously. Oh, wait, Chibu, did you say you're 16 years? Tell me, what's the feeling like, guys? Come, what's the feeling like for you? I mean, obviously, you're the star for this particular contest. Tell me, what's the feeling like when you answered the last question, plasma? Tell me.
I was feeling very excited because I don't think I was a star. And it was a teamwork. And God complimented our work.
Adrenaline that kicked in and you answered. At that point, were you thinking, if I get this wrong, it means we could be out of the competition? Were you thinking about that?
It was a mixed feeling, but we knew that the way we had prepared, God won't let us lose. Yes, and God's favor was upon us, so we made it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that's it. Accra Academy, they've qualified to the next stage, of the competition. They are moving on to the semi-finals. The old students are here. They cannot have enough of them. Reporting for Joynews, Maxwell Agbagba.
And just a few comments on WhatsApp, and I'd like to read this one from Daniel Bazi. He says, the bus that took Mfansipim back to Cape Coast is waiting for you at Legon Y, Brian Fadrin. And this goes to Kojo Yangson and Nathaniel Ato. And he says, but I hear they can't find your team. They decided to swim to Cape Coast. Anyway, fishermen there, so sorry about this. But Opokowari also sent 2 top schools in the Central Region, Holy Child School and Wesley Girls High School, out of the competition in the first contest of the day, while Buamponsem won the contest with St. Margaret Mary's SHS and GSTS. General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, who is himself an Absonian, Dr. Justice Yansing, is calling for more attention for pensioners to make life comfortable after their service to the nation. He is being speaking in a yet-to-be-aired interview on PM Personality Profile.
Retire and they don't really make ends meet because their pensions are so low that it cannot give them any meaningful life. And sometimes people think that it is the poor quality of life of workers after retirement or upon retirement that actually leads them to pass on early in life, So this is something that we need to change, and together, I think as a people, we should be able to make life a lot more better for retirees.
The full interview airs at 9 p.m. after Joynews Prime. Make a date. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you editorials with Araba Kunzi.
Time for business. I'm Charles Ayatib. About 30,000 smallholder farmers in the northern and savannah regions are to benefit from the evidence-based 4R nutrient stewardship project. Now, the 4R NSP is a 5-year project aimed at sensitizing farmers on the application of fertilizer in the right quantity, time and place to increase yield and reduce the cost of production. There is more in this report.
The 5-year project is targeting about 80,000 smallholder farmers across Africa and about 30,000 farmers in 4 districts in Ghana. The country manager for CDF, Christiana Kankani Yakubu, said most often farmers do not know when, how, and where to apply fertilizer on their crops.
Farmers making sure that they are getting the right source of fertilizer for their crops, because depending on where you are growing your crops, the nutrients emission may be different. So it's looking at what type of nutrients. So that's the first 4. The second 4 is looking at, depending on where you are cultivating your crop and what type of soil you are using, the rate counts, and also the time you apply it counts. The same thing where you place it also counts. So we believe that if farmers are able to employ these 4, not leaving out one, together with all the best agronomic practices, all the climate smart activities, they will be able to increase their productivity.
The head of programs of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Charles Nyaba, who represented the farmers, said his role in the training was to identify the pros and cons of the project. He said it's to serve the interests of the farmers.
Of course, I'm coming in to represent the voice of the farmers across the country, because that's what I do. If you look at the mandate of Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, we are a farmer association that represents smallholder farmers. So I will be I'll observe critically to look at the negatives and the positives and be able to speak against the negatives, and then the positives I'll be able to expand that to other farmers in the other areas. So we are observing, and I'll continue to communicate the results to our members. And if there are any modifications that need to be done based on a recommendation for our members, I'll also channel that to the project members.
The Director of Crop Service at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Osaya Koto, said the objective of the project falls in line with government's Planting for Food and Jobs program. He, however, disputed claims that there were shortages of fertilizer in some parts of the country.
Now, the Ghana Air Force says building a mutual relationship with industries will go a long way to benefit the country's economy. It says companies can also operate in the secured environment in which the armed forces play a crucial role. Continental Blue Investment Ghana Limited producers of Super Sem cement last month donated about 30 bags, that's 3,000 bags rather, of the products to some security agencies. Now, these include the Ghana Police Training School, Awutu Prisons, and the Ghana Air Force. There is more in this report.
As a way of showing gratitude and building lasting relationship, a team made up of the Ghana Army and Air Force toured the CBI facility. Led by Chief of Air Staff Air Vice Marshal Frank Hansen and Chief of Army Staff Major General Thomas Opon-Pepra, appreciated the various stages Super Sem cement goes through to obtain its quality product. Chief of Air Staff of the Ghana Air Force Air Vice Marshal Frank Hansen, in an interview with Joy Business, said building a nation is both a military and civil function.
That kind gesture to provide us with this 850 bags of cement to provide some accommodation for our personnel, it will go a long way. And that relationship is not only about the personalities involved, but totally to help provide some relief.
Meanwhile, Head of Security and Coordinator for Safety at CBI, retired COP David Ampabing, has assured of quality tailored products for customers, for consumers' needs.
When any product is new, people look at it with suspicion, but I can vehemently stand here and say Super Sem is a super product. Ghanaians should thank for it, and it's good for building. You know, now we are coming to the market with a new brand. You see that use the 42.5 for concrete and building. And then the 32, we produce 2 different brands. The 32 is for plastering.
CBI says it will soon be rolling out an education program on the use of its products, which will hit the market.
Now, a new market authorization certificate has been issued by the Food and Drugs Authority to SOWAH Research and Manufacturing Company to begin operations. The activities of the company were suspended in March this year after a misunderstanding ensued between the company and the FDA. There is more in this report.
Executive President of the company, Professor Samuel Atodankan, was full of praise for the FDA, without which he says the company wouldn't have been able to put in place measures to improve their acts.
On the 10th of September 2020, the FDA gave us market authorization to market COA-FS as COA mixture, since it is no more registered as a food supplement, but a herbal medicine for general well-being, but the same ingredients with improved quality.
Deputy Central Regional Minister Thomas Ejebafu praised the company for not making their issues with the Foods and Drugs Authority drown their dreams and aspirations. He is urging them to stand out to be counted.
I wish to state here that the suspension of the operation of this company has turned out to be a blessing, paving the way for this factory to go through massive transformation to prevent any possible contamination of products in future. I believe we have been able to turn around this unfortunate event to build a better future for your organization, which has been applauded by many in the country and beyond.
The SOWAH Research and Manufacturing Company Limited is expected to deploy scientific experts of worldwide acclaim to help in the research work and the manufacturing of drugs for not only Ghana, but across the globe. Richard Kwejunyako for Joy Business.
Time now for sports. Nathaniel Ato is all of a sudden awake from his slumber because, I mean, his colleague Kojo Yankson is asleep by now. So he decided to wake up and come in. But you know, it's red, yellow, and green. Yeah, red, gold, green. Green is last. So why are you complaining?
Are we very sure about red? Who's red anyway?
It should be fine.
Who's red? Oh. And who's yellow?
But you know that the winning school is yellow. Accra Academy.
Accra Academy.
And Israel asked me. Israel asked me. Okay,
congratulations.
By the way,
let me tell you.
Israel said I should ask you this.
Let me tell you this.
How do you feel? Because last year
by this time,
you do.
I feel fantastic.
And you went to sleep.
It's very simple. I didn't go to sleep. Let me tell you. It's very simple. It's very sweet. Let me tell you something. Congratulations to our friends at Accra Academy.
Definitely.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one.
Definitely.
We gave them a run for their money.
Yes.
They haven't won it before. Let them go and enjoy. Let them go and enjoy. It's fine. However, a little piece of advice before we go for sport. A little piece of advice to my friends at Bleo. You know, this is just a stage.
Okay.
Go for the ultimate before you start dancing. Take advice from us.
Israel says that the whole aim is to beat you. So beating you is just enough. Even if they don't win, they're cool with that.
They don't want to aim for the highest? Accra. Well, but
Take it away.
Absu any day, and we're strong and still green, and perseverance conquers all any day. Welcome to sport here on Joynews Prime. My name is Nathaniel Ato, and I'm an Asunian, a very proud one of that. Let's go into our build-up to Joy Transfer Deadline Day, which comes up on Monday, October 5 here on the Joynews channel. Now let's focus on Brighton wonder kid Tariq Lamptey, who is one of the hottest commodities in the English Premier League. Now, German champions Bayern Munich have expressed interest in the player of Ghanaian descent, but the Bavarians are yet to submit an official bid. Well, let's check out some fixtures for the major European leagues ahead of the big weekend. Let's begin from England. And so Chelsea host Crystal Palace, and Everton play Brighton Hove and Albion, and Manchester City are away to Leeds United. Newcastle play Burnley. These are fixtures for Saturday, October 3. All right, so Leicester City play West Ham United. West Brom go away to Southampton. Arsenal host Sheffield United. Wolverhampton Wanderers will play Fulham, and Tottenham Hotspur play Manchester United, a very big one. Jose Mourinho going up against his former side. Aston Villa will host Liverpool. All right, it's time to check out what will be happening in the Spanish La Liga. And there we go. The fixtures there on your screen. Valladolid will be hosting Eibar. Villarreal are away to Atletico Madrid. Thomas Partey's Madrid. Atletico Madrid, Elche play Huesca, and Getafe go away to Real Sociedad. Also tomorrow, Valencia will play Real Betis at home. On Sunday, Osasuna play Celta Vigo, Athletic Bilbao are away to Deportivo Alaves, Levante play Real Madrid, and Cadiz play Granada. Now, Sevilla will be away to Barcelona. That surely is going to be an exciting tie. Well, from there we go to the Italian Serie A, and of course later this game will be played. It's Fiorentina versus Sampdoria. That will open up the match day for this weekend in the Italian Serie A. On Saturday, Sassuolo play Crotone, and AS Roma are away to Udinese. And of course, the game between Genoa and Torino has been postponed. On Sunday, there's action as well. Most of the games will be played on Sunday. Cagliari will be playing Atalanta, and Benvenuto will be hosting Bologna. Inter Milan are away to Lazio. Parma play Hellas Verona, and Spezia will go away to AC Milan. Juventus will play Napoli in another top clash. All right, so thanks so much for watching. That's it for sport. And of course, you'd have to follow us. Big things happening in the coming week. The documentary, the Hotline documentary, The Boxing Loan, will be aired on Monday. Of course, that same evening, we'll bring you Transfer Deadline Day. For more, just click on the sports page on myjoyonline.com and also follow our social media handles at JoySportsGH on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
People have so far been arrested in the Volta region for their alleged involvement in a series of violent attacks as part of an orchestrated push to break away from Ghana. Out of the number, 54 are currently in custody. A high-level meeting by government and the Volta Regional House of Chiefs ended with an assurance of more security deployment in the region and a manhunt for all persons involved in the destruction of property by the separatist groups. The Volta Regional House of Chiefs had expressed concerns about government's failure to neutralize further attacks after the National Security Minister failed to attend a meeting called by the chiefs. But after meeting them Friday, Deputy Information Minister Pius Enam Hajidi said the concerns of the chiefs were addressed. He also described the separatist groups as criminals and dismissed calls for the imposition of a curfew. That's the subject, actually, for our editorial this evening. And Araba Kumsin has more.
Exactly a week ago, many in this country woke up to what some have described as a brazen display of bravado as a separatist group in the Volta region took over a police station, seizing guns, holding police personnel hostage, and blocking several entry routes to the region. Now, this is the stuff that we hear about in other nations and in the movies. Not Ghana, not the country that has been heralded globally as a beacon of peace. Of course, there had been rumblings by affiliated secessionist groups before. In fact, as recent as August this year, when members of the Homeland Foundation Study Group, led by the octogenarian Papavi, as he has come to be known, were arrested for disturbing the peace. But their activities were quickly quelled by the law enforcement agencies. So it came as a shock and a surprise when these later secessionists managed to pull off their planned takeover. The question on the lips of many, and a legitimate one at that, was, did we not see it coming? How did we miss this?
The coordinated nature of those attacks, they all took place within a certain time frame. And the failure of the state is that if you see that trucks were brought in to dump red earth on the roads to block them, people sang patriotic songs, they set fire, they danced, all without a response from the state.
Of course, government brushed off the criticism, justifying why they didn't swiftly respond and quash the situation.
Appears to be more militant than the previous one. And we've been trying to deal with them outside. So we've been monitoring them for some time. for some time now.
How long would you say?
No, over 2 years.
For over 2 years? Okay. So then it brings into question, you know, the issues that have been raised, that this is a fundamental intelligence flaw on the part of people who are in charge of security, which you lead in the region.
Oh, not so.
A bit difficult to swallow, but granted, these things happen. But how do you convince the citizens when the very situation you claim to have suppressed resurfaces? Because the dust had barely settled before news broke again of the secessionists burning an STC bus. So really, how much security presence was on the ground before this arson attack? Or was there? What are they going to do next? What are they going to burn next? Already the indigents of the region are living in fear, not knowing when the next attack will befall them.
Surely it's affecting life here. Those of us who are not from this area are now scared because we don't know when an attack will happen. So we are just in a dilemma. My impression is they are putting the life of the people here in danger.
Togoland people are doing is very bad. Destroying properties and we losing lives is very, very uncalled for.
In all of this, 2 people have died from this condemnable action by the secessionists. We shouldn't wait for more people to perish. Well, government has assured that it is stepping up security in the region, and chiefs of the region have risen to oppose the violent acts of these separatists. This is commendable. Ghana is a sovereign state. No one has any right to claim any part of this country. It belongs to each and every one of us. The beauty of our diverse culture is what makes us unique. Let's not damage this beautiful fabric of society that has been intricately woven by our forebears. God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. On behalf of the rest of the production team, have a great one. Enjoy the rest of our programs.